are grown by more than 40% of Ontario's farmers. Except for hay and oats, they are the most commonly grown crop in the province. Only about 1/4 of these potatoes, however, enter commercial channels of trade. The majority of them are produced in small acreages for home consumption. Ontario annually imports 3 to 5 million bushels of potatoes. This would seem to mean there is a market for the product of efficient commercial producers. The story we wish to tell is the story of potatoes, from planting to harvesting, the story of the successful commercial grower. The first consideration of the commercial potato grower is soil. The ideal soil is a rich, deep, friable medium loam. Light sandy soils may also be used, as may organic soils. Some soils, which are relatively unproductive when planted to other crops, will produce potatoes successfully. For this reason, potatoes have become something of an answer to Ontario's land use problem. Regardless of the type of soil on which the crop is grown, soil management is important. The 3-year rotation is best adapted to commercial production. In the first year, spring grain is seeded down to red or sweet clover. In the following year, the second growth of clover is plowed down, and the land is seeded to rye. In the third year, the rye is plowed down in the spring. It should be plowed while the plants are young, succulent, and about 10 inches high. Oats as well as rye will serve admirably as a cover crop. Plowing should be done so the rye is completely turned under and not protruding from the turned furrow. After plowing, the land is given a few days to set, and then seedbed preparation begins. A packer, or a disc and a harrow, will leave the soil in an open, friable condition, ready for the potato crop. At the same time, seed must be prepared for planting. Certified seed should be used. Certified seed is the grower's guarantee that the seed stock is pure in variety, true to type, and free from serious disease. Seed treatment of potatoes will help prevent surface-borne disease. The potatoes are submerged in an approved chemical solution, following the manufacturer's directions. Treatment of potatoes will act as a disease preventative only if the soil in which the crop is grown is uninfected. The hamper of treated seed is thoroughly drained and then allowed to dry in the sunlight, either by spreading out or by frequent shifting from hamper to hamper. After seed has been disinfected, it should be given an opportunity to sprout. The seed potatoes are spread 2 or 3 deep and exposed to light. Left in this manner for a week to 10 days, sprouts will develop. These sprouts are short, dense, full of color, and strong enough for handling at planting time. When the seed has sprouted, it may be cut. Much of Ontario's seed is cut by hand. If sufficient labor is available, hand cutting will produce good sets. Each set weighs from 1.5 to 2 ounces and has at least 2 eyes. Care must be taken to disinfect the cutting knife regularly, particularly if it has come in contact with diseased seed. Mechanical cutting equipment must also be regularly disinfected. All parts of the equipment are thoroughly treated, as well as the hampers which are used to handle the cut sets. When labor is scarce, an automatic potato cutter is a very useful piece of equipment. Some cutters have a capacity of up to 20 bags of seed per hour. Modern mechanical seed cutters are capable of producing good sets. As with hand cutting, each set weighs from 1.5 to 2 ounces and has at least 2 eyes. If not planted immediately, the cut seed may be kept for 1 or 2 weeks by allowing it to cork over. With seedbed and seed ready, planting begins. Of the 2 types of planters in Ontario, the picker arm type is the most widely used. It is efficient to run and can easily be operated by 2 men. Experience and research have proved the main crop should be in the ground early in May for the best results. To get a uniform, medium-sized potato, and for ease of operation, rows 32 to 36 inches apart and sets 7 to 9 inches apart are considered optimum. The rotating disc type planter requires 1 more man to operate, but will plant with less danger of transmitting disease and with almost perfect accuracy. As low as 0.2% misses can be obtained with the rotating disc planter. Fertilizer is banded in as the planting is done. The fertilizer used depends on the fertility level of the soil, which level can be found through soil testing. Throughout the growing season, an active cultivation and spraying program must be maintained. Until the potato plant shows through, a harrow or weeder is used once a week. This pre-emergence cultivation is essential in the control of weeds. When the plants are up, cultivate to move earth close to them. Cultivating is continued at regular intervals until the blossom stage is reached. When the plants are about 3 inches high, the initial spraying is done. This first spraying is for flea beetles, leaf hoppers, and spraying continues at regular intervals. Either spraying or dusting will accomplish the same purpose. Dusting is usually carried out in the early morning or late evening while there is still dew on the plants. At the blossom stage, that is approximately the 3rd application, a fungicide is added to the spraying or dusting material for the prevention of blight. Just at the blossom stage is the time for the final hilling up. If pre-blossom cultivation has been carried out faithfully, there won't be many weeds in the field, and the potatoes themselves will successfully smother most new ones. Cultivation during or after the blossom stage may cut down the yield by as much as 1/3. By this time in the season, the importance of seed quality and care in seed treatment will be apparent. An extreme number of misses is evidence of poor seed. Another evidence of poor seed is the presence of virus diseases, such as leaf roll, as shown here, mosaic, and spindle tuber. The use of certified seed will prevent this. In some areas, irrigation has assumed an important role as a supplement for lack of rainfall. In order to produce a maximum yield of high-quality tubers, the potato crop must be maintained in an active growing condition throughout the season, hence the importance of irrigation. A foot of soil. The soil water content may usually be brought to field capacity within the potato's feeding zone by an irrigation of 4 or 5 inches. With mechanical harvesting methods and the use of insecticides which promote growth and delay maturity, vine killing has become popular. If, however, the plants are well matured, vine killing is unnecessary. Harvesting is the final link in the production chain. Mechanical harvesting equipment, such as this digger and bagger, is designed to save labor. Improper handling of this machinery will seriously reduce the yield through bruising and cutting. If only enough of the shaker sprockets are connected to effectively clean the potatoes, bruising will be minimized. The crop is more apt to bruise easily if the weather is cool and wet than under warm, dry harvesting conditions. The importance of this specially designed low wagon for taking bags from field to storage should be apparent. Our story of commercial potato production has been told in 4 parts. Part 1, rotation practice and seedbed preparation. Part 2, seed choice and treatment. Part 3, planting, cultivation, and disease and insect control. And Part 4, harvesting. Each year, Ontario imports potatoes. For this reason, there will always be a ready market for Ontario-grown potatoes. However, this market will only exist so long as they are of first-grade quality. Successful potato producers never worry because they know a quality product guarantees the market, and efficient production guarantees a profit.